for the second to last time, let's welcome everyone back to the Collegian Cooldown. Here we go. We got a lot to talk about. We went to some pretty cool places over the break.
Yeah.
Covered some games not in Valley Children's Stadium and not in the St. Mark Center.
Interesting.
What?
Interesting. Yeah.
Crazy.
Fun week.
A good week. Thanksgiving week. Good break, but we still got some work done near the end.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It's good. We can touch on the my stats from the Turkey Bowl just later on. But I enjoyed my next plate.
How many plates?
A couple of times. I enjoyed the pies. I enjoyed, my second, third, fourth plate, and then of course Black Friday. Enjoyed the leftover plates. Very good. How was your Thanksgiving? I know you're not a big foodie guy.
It was great. I had Tyson chicken nuggets and a microwave cup of Kraft mac and cheese. That was my Thanksgiving dinner.
Nothing screams Thanksgiving quite like some Dino Nuggets.
Nah, just
no,
regular.
okay.
Just regular.
Wasn't
I
feeling crazy.
couldn't. I didn't have the funds to get the Dino Nuggets.
Yeah, those have gone up in price, huh?
Oh yeah, inflation. Yeah, but no, I mean, I kind of just spent it here because a little bit of the travel complicated some things. So, figured save the gas mileage, save some money for that trip that we will be talking about in a little bit,
Like 10, 15 seconds.
maybe.
There's a lot that went down over this past weekend, and right now Bulldog Sports are kind of on a pause here. We're in a weird area. Finals coming up, so we got to think of student athletes here. They are students, emphasizing
athletes,
student athletes.
yes.
They got final projects. They got finals coming up, just like the rest of us. So it's good that they're getting
That's right.
they're getting some break. Their men's team spaced out by like 10 days between games.
Yeah.
Women's team will be here soon. So there's a lot of time here. So why don't we break down these two games that just happened? Nolan and a couple others went all the way to San Jose.
Made the trek over 152 Pacheco Pass and the fog. It was fun. It was actually really weird leaving on Saturday because it was super foggy here. It had been foggy for the last week, and then we get up into the mountains over 152, and the fog starts to come in on you, and you're like, whoa. It's scary. I can't see 2 cars in front of me, and then you come down the pass and get into Gilroy, and it's all sunny. I was like, whoa, that's blue sky. Kind of forgot what that was like.
Weird seeing that.
But we got up into San Jose, Santa Clara for the game at about 1:30. Got some
A lot of time.
Got some lunch at a pink taco truck. Jasmine was a big fan of that.
Of course.
Went and got checked in. Had some hiccups at the hotel. We got a room pulled out from underneath us.
It wouldn't be a trip without a little hiccup with the hotel.
Nope, not at all. So had to rebook rooms right there, and then kind of just got ready, headed out to the stadium. It was a bitter one. It was a cold night in San Jose. It was a bit chilly, and we had an interesting press box situation that we thought we were gonna be in open facing press box, but we got thrown into an auxiliary booth down by one end zone.
Kicked you out.
Yeah, so the angle was a little hard going away from us, but we got to see some touchdowns. We got to see Gilliam punch it into the end zone a couple times. Yeah, it was just fun to experience another stadium. I know you went to the Rose Bowl last year. San Jose State Stadium's not as historic as the Rose Bowl, but it's still an away stadium. It's still an experience. Media was hard to manage there. They're a little more strict with their field access, just because the field itself is a lot smaller. There's not a lot of room to go across, so you really only got to move across at halftime or before the game. So, but yeah.
Most important question that I will ask probably this whole semester: how was the spread?
I can't answer that question.
Really?
No, I can't answer that question because
No spread?
there was
Mm.
there was some food. It was just a lot of prepackaged sandwiches
Mm.
and a bag of those kettle pop chips.
Pretty good, but yeah, not
I had a yellow Gatorade. That was
okay.
that was my food choice, but yeah, I had to do some bartering with the security guard to get on the field post game.
Dang.
But yeah, the post game stand up, my hands are in my pockets because my fingers, as I'm typing like the last few updates,
Yeah.
and my fingers are like locking. They're just really sore.
Very cold.
But yeah, it was an amazing game. I got to watch kind of one of the most complete games that they've played this year in person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go back to maybe the Southern game, but that's against an FCS team. I think this was their best game that we witnessed in person. As all around. I mean, the 3 turnovers aren't great, but you can't play perfect, but all you can do is play good.
Talking about that security guard, I think he played better defense than the Spartans did. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's just
Yeah.
as soon as you said that.
53 carries, 259 rushing yards. I mean, EJ didn't need to do anything.
No.
That's the thing. And that was kind of the thing early in the year that allowed, he turned the ball over, but it allowed them to win games, convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Was that, the run game was there to assist, and, you hold the ball for almost 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
I mean, that's looking like an Air Force box score.
Hey, I mean, it definitely looked like an Air Force box score with Conklin against Boise State. A win is a win, and you look at, if we're just going strictly on paper, looking at the stats, Warner's definitely wasn't his best game. But if
No,
we're looking
definitely not.
stats-wise, if you look at Colorado State, he threw for over 300 yards. You would think, if you didn't know the score, you just look at the stats, go Warner over 300 yards. That means they probably did something good. No.
Nothing.
It's the games where he's 150, but his completion percentage is through the roof, and they can run the ball. That's all that they need to do,
That's all they needed to do.
and that's what they want to do. You don't need to throw the ball.
Exactly. It's what they couldn't do. Well, I mean, they could do it against Colorado State, but they got behind so fast that they were forced to play catch-up, so they couldn't run the ball. Like, you're going to have to force the ball down the field. It's what was ineffective against San Diego State. They couldn't run the ball, forced Conklin to throw, forced him to throw into, tight windows, and ultimately got him, picked off late in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
It's what they couldn't do against Utah State. Utah State kind of, in the first half was, definitely more, prone to giving up those chunk plays. We saw, I believe it was Arsenault with another big chunk play. And then in the second half, they plugged the gaps and expose a weak passing game. So if you're not able to stop the run against this team, they're going to win.
Mhm.
But, it's definitely frustrating looking back on this season and seeing how everything played out within the last week, where San Diego State lost against New Mexico. By the way, New Mexico absolutely robbed of a conference title. I mean,
It's tough.
I don't understand how they don't get in, beating UNLV earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Do we just not take head? Are we the committee? Are we not recognizing head-to-heads at this point? Because I think the Lobos deserved a shot, and I think they had a good chance to beat Boise State without what's his Madsen? I almost called him Max Duggan. Not TCU.
Maddox
Madsen, yeah. But yeah, I watched a lot of the games on Friday that played out. Obviously the San Diego State New Mexico game was a thriller. That was a really good game to watch. Boise State Utah State. Utah State got out to a quick lead. They were up 8 at halftime, up 11. Going into half, and then Boise State got a late field goal, and they just couldn't put them away. And then there was a third game, but I want to say it was Hawaii and Wyoming. But I didn't watch that one because that was way past my bedtime. Because I had to be up early, and well, I'm a little old. I'm a little old.
Need your sleep.
Yeah. So you go into Saturday, you see what played out San Diego State ends up with two conference losses. And I mean, look, if they beat Colorado State, it's a completely different season moving forward from that point. I don't think EJ loses his starting job. I think you kind of just keep building that momentum. And then you're looking at a winless Colorado State in conference. And you don't even have to win. You don't even have to beat San Diego State. You lose San Diego State, that's fine.
Oh.
You beat Utah State, you're 10-2, you're hosting a conference title.
You have to be, at the end of the day, you got to be kicking yourself a little bit just with how everything played out. And going into these last 2 weeks, they knew that they didn't hold their own destiny in their hands. It was up to other people, and it almost played out perfectly for the other teams, for Fresno State to get in. But
yeah, and I mean, even if they beat Utah State, I don't think they get in because the computers or whatever determines, the standings would probably still have Boise State and UNLV over. I mean, we would be upset, I think, as fans because we beat Boise State head to head, So, you can do, if it was UNLV New Mexico, there's an argument. Oh, we didn't play those teams. That happens. But, it's you just look at that Colorado State loss and you think just what if? Because, I mean, it's not like that win turned their season around. They did not win another game after that. Mm-hmm. They fired their coach.
Coach was done after that.
Coach was gone. I mean, it's just a lot of, what went wrong in that game? Was it the travel? Was it the short week? Was it, what was it? When I watched that first half, it was a lot of tackling issues on the defense, and then the second half was the offense couldn't convert a fourth down to save their life. But, that bad first half, you don't have to put your offense in a situation like that. So, I think in definitely a transition year where you're gearing up for a new conference, I think you have to look at the season as a success.
It is
8-4, 5-3 in conference. It's not. It's definitely frustrating.
But if anyone is super upset about this, you have to take a step back and realize everything that led up to this season. Were the Bulldogs supposed to make a Mountain West title appearance? No.
They weren't predicted to.
Middle of the pack?
Yeah. Maybe 7-5, 6-6,
A bowl game was going to be a good season.
Yeah. And they got they were there almost at week 7. And then it took them 2 extra games. And then they finally get it against Boise. But, you can't have... You obviously want your team to win, right? And especially with the 5-1 start, you start thinking. But if you take a step back and look at the expectations, like you said, like they were predicted to finish like 5th or 6th in the conference, maybe scratching a bowl game. And, they held their weight against some, pretty good teams this season and, took out top rivals like Boise. Couldn't get it done against San Diego State. Went into Corvallis, a tough place to play. I know that their season didn't end the way they wanted it to, but still, I mean, you go into an opposing team's place and you win.
Early in the year, too?
Very early. I mean, they're 0-2 at that point, but, you don't know how their season's going to play out after that.
Their
they
QB,
could be
tough QB.
Exactly.
Playing there is a very tough environment. So getting that win. But opening week in Kansas, that was 0-1 to start when it was announced.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just a pay-me game, Kansas, whether or not they think we're an inferior opponent, like they're opening up a new stadium, they want to play somebody that they know they're going to beat. They want to win that first game, opening their redone stadium, whatever. And then you turn it around and you play Georgia Southern, and that's a pay-them game. So it's a 1-1, and you're going into that Oregon State game. And I think when the schedule got released, you thought 2-2 going into Mountain West play would be perfect. And they went in, and for most of that game, held their own. helped out by some special teams issues, but
They took advantage of it. Last year,
Exactly.
I don't think that team gets it done when they're given the opportunity that the Dogs got this year.
not at all. And then
Able to capitalize.
And then they come home to an FCS team, and I asked Matt Ince in that press conference, like, you've been on the other side of this as the FCS team coming in. How do you take that knowledge of what you tell your team to tell the Bulldogs how to prepare? And he basically said you just have to treat it like a regular game, and they did, and they dominated. And then they go play Hawaii on the island, and Hawaii fell off a little bit towards the end of the year. I honestly thought they could have made the title game with how dynamic that offense is.
Yeah.
And you look at the teams that went onto the island. Stanford, bottom tier ACC team, but started to play a little better towards the end of the year. Beat Cal, they lost. San Diego State was the top team in the Mountain West for 8 weeks. Lost. It's a hard place to play, and the Bulldogs went in there and for 55 minutes again dominated. Let Hawaii get within a 2-point conversion of tying, and came up big at the end. And then you come home and they have that scare against Nevada, and you're like, oh.
Coming off the bye week, a little rust. But Nevada played them hard.
And Nevada showed they were a good team at the end of the year. And then they go into Colorado State, and the wheels kind of fall off for the next 2 weeks. They lose 49-21, and then 23-0. And you come back after the San Diego State game, and you think, this season's over, because you're staring down the barrel of a Boise State team on their turf in a rivalry, with basically a college football playoff team from last year, minus their running back, Ashton Genty.
And a veteran QB who's played
Exactly.
a lot of games.
And they got helped out by an injury. But, it's not like they won 10-7. They won 30-7. That defense dominated.
So you can look at the passing yards, but that's not the tail of the tape. It's the run game and the defense shutting them down.
It's the forced turnovers. It's the clean game that they played. Just, and then they have the rain game against Wyoming, and they win. And then, you're thinking, oh, my God, we have a chance. Utah State's coming in. They're 0-5 on the road. This is it. And then they just,
laid an egg.
It ends
on senior night.
And then, you get that quarterback change, and it doesn't make sense because you've just played 2 clean football games. He's not getting the passing yards, but he's winning the game, and the run game's working, and then they switch, and it just questions you. And then they go into San Jose State and play one of their best games on defense, forcing 5 turnovers, 3 picks, 2 fumbles, 5 picks. Sorry, I mean they weren't hard picks. Like, these were just bad throws, but taking advantage of mistakes. That's what they had to do.
Talking with Entz post game and in the Monday press conferences, asking what was the change, and he said it was just something in practice that I saw. Was it something that Warner was doing more of, or was it something Conklin wasn't doing enough of?
I think that'll be the question that everyone wants to know, but we'll never find out. Because, you got to think EJ's probably played his last game. They might give him the bowl game, but I really think you use that game as a chance to see what you have in other guys. We probably see Conklin start that game. We probably see, a lot of younger guys. Josiah Freeman's probably played his last game as a Bulldog. Elijah Gilliam has probably played his last game as a Bulldog. So, it's... You'll never know. Unless, something comes out in an exclusive interview that, happens. But, it's just going to be... It's going to be one of those question marks that, everyone kind of thinks of going into next season of, along with the what if is what was the quarterback situation? And you're completely right. I think it was I think it was more of something that EJ did more of,
Mm-hmm.
and he said something about EJ having more fun in practice. He said when he had the starting job, he would just make a throw and turn around. But while he was the backup, he was making throws and then celebrating and having a little more personality. So maybe it was that. But we talked about when Conklin was named the starter against San Diego State that it seemed like this decision was going to come. It was just waiting for the right moment.
Yeah. But you can't do that when you're
when you're
riding
winning
a five win
straight.
streak.
I think the perfect time to see if you needed a quarterback change was the Southern game, right? You're coming off, 3 games where EJ hasn't had a touchdown pass, and I think he had 5 interceptions or 4 interceptions at that point in the season. So you have the perfect opportunity to, throw Conklin in. Granted, it's an FCS team, but you see what you have in him, and then you make a decision going into Nevada, or Hawaii. I don't think, because you win 3, and then you win 4, and then you win 5, and it's hard to have the trust of a locker room if you make a quarterback change in, during a 5-game winning streak, which is why I think it was so surprising that EJ got the start against Utah State, because they were winning games and they were clean games. There was no turnovers. Like,
how important was senior night to
How
get him
important?
going? Was it? I mean, in the box, we're thinking, is this just a one-drive thing? Is what's going on? And then
was there
continues to come out.
Was there a call from Kurt Warner? Who knows? I just, you gave EJ the benefit of the doubt of winning early in the year, but you couldn't do that for Conklin. And maybe that game against Utah State is the game where, Conklin gets the chemistry down and he's hitting guys in stride and whatnot. And I think, the two to blame him for the poor passing against Wyoming is just completely disingenuous, because that game is, you look at Wyoming's quarterback stats, they're horrible. So to say that, he had a horrible game against Wyoming is like,
In a downpour.
okay, I'd like to see you go out and try to do that. I get the frustration against Boise State and San Diego State, but, to me it was just like it felt like he was trying to right the wrong and being like, I don't think Conklin's got it. So it was, that's a tough way to basically lose a season, but they still got one more.
They do have a bowl game. We're still waiting to see how that plays out after the conference championship games. We'll find out where the Dogs will be going. Will they be going back to the blue field?
Yeah, I've heard Boise, Tucson, or Hawaii are the 3 main contenders. Speaking of conference titles, I just kind of want to get your thoughts on, each of these games coming up. We'll go Power 4 in the Mountain West, because those are the main ones. So Mountain West, controversy aside, where I think New Mexico should at least be part of it. You could say San Diego State could be too. I just don't see how are they 9-3 or 8-4? I think they're 8-4. 8-4 Boise State team makes conference title over a 9-3 New Mexico or a 9-3 San Diego State.
And make sure we got it right.
I know UNLV's 10-2.
Boise State to host UNLV.
I mean,
For
that's
the
crazy that they're
championship.
hosting. And I don't know how UNLV look. I mean,
8-4.
they're a good team. Look, they're 10-2, but I look at their non-conference. They beat Idaho State by 7. 38-31 week 1 or week 0. They beat Sam Houston State 38-21. And Sam Houston State was I believe they were 2-10. So
okay, solid program over there.
Yeah, and then they beat UCLA by 7, where they were up 23-0, and let them come back into the game. But we know UCLA season, they had that Linsanity run with
Spark with the skipper and
Neuheisel.
Neuheisel.
And then they beat Miami of Ohio by 3. Middle of the pack MAC team, I guess. 7-5, 6-2 in conference. So, a little bit of action for the Mountain West. And then, they beat UNLV they beat Wyoming 31-17 in the snow game. So, but then they beat Air Force by 3. Let's just see how many passes Air Force are. I'm curious.
Over under 7.
Oh, they threw 17.
Whoa.
Still ran the ball 66 times for 428 yards.
Goodness.
Yeah. But, 48-51. And Air Force, they were in a lot of close games, but, still 4-8, 3-5 in conference. So, and then they lose to Boise State and New Mexico. And then finish off the year with 4 straight against Colorado State, Utah State, Hawaii, and Nevada. So, you can say what you want, but
I don't know. Is Madsen done?
I think so.
So they're gonna have to go with the backup.
Go with Cutforth, yeah. But you look at New Mexico's non-conference. They go into Michigan and lose by 17. They beat Idaho State by 10. Beat UCLA by 25 in UCLA. So they have that win over UNLV. And then beat New Mexico State by 18. Lost to San Jose State by 7. Lost to Boise State. But then rattled off, was that 6 straight against Nevada, Utah State, UNLV, Colorado State, Air Force, and San Diego State. So I think that program's going to be in great hands. I think Jason Eck's done a great job coming in. I think they'll be, contenders next year in a generally weaker conference now that, they're losing 5 teams. But, I think for their final season, and they have not made a Mountain West title ever. And they could have done it and could have gone into Boise, at least into Boise, to play them. But it's going to be a rematch of last year. And, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Broncos are going to three-peat.
I don't know.
I don't know, Jim.
Mountain West, I think UNLV finally does it.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't trust them.
No?
I don't trust them. There are 2 losses this year against New Mexico and I'm blanking on the other, even though I just looked at their schedule.
Boise State?
Oh, it was, yeah. I don't. You play your 2 best teams and you lose. I just think they're not that.
Not all that.
They're not all that. So, ACC.
So we are split here in Mountain West.
We're
we'll see how split we are.
We'll pull up the
these.
records.
Yeah.
Next podcast. We got and that's on Friday. So on Saturday we have 10-2 Virginia in the ACC versus 7-5 Duke.
Big basketball.
This is an ACC
programs
basketball championship. Yeah. And I think this is what's wrong with college football, along with calendar issues and coaches leaving in the middle of championship runs and whatnot. Is these mega conferences allow for these wild tiebreakers that allow Duke to get in, a 7-5 Duke team to get in over a 10-2 Miami team, even though they have the same conference record. That's just me. But yeah, if Duke wins, do you think ACC gets a spot in the playoff?
I don't think they would give them that. They want as many SEC Big Ten teams as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not Clemson, I don't think they're giving anyone.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give SMU one last year.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm riding with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I think so too. You never know. 8-5 ACC champion would be wild.
Yeah.
So we agree there. We'll go
We
to
got one. Hey, we got one.
We'll go to the Big 12 next. Who's going to be? It's BYU. Both teams at 11-1. We got 11th ranked BYU Cougars
Tech.
at, not at, in Arlington, but basically a home game for Tech against the number 5 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. I got the Red Raiders.
I will ride
with
Texas Tech as well.
We do have a head-to-head this season, and Tech kind of dismantled BYU. And Tech's only loss was against Arizona State. Quarterback was hurt, But yeah, 29-7 last time they played out. 4 weeks ago.
I'd ride with Tech.
Yeah.
That linebacker is absolutely insane, who I'm blanking on. the
Oh,
name.
God, yeah. It's got, more forced turnovers than, half the teams in the country.
Just a good overall story with this team right now.
The Red Raiders?
Fifth ranked in the nation.
I was growing up, I wasn't, a big college football fan. My family was just, whoever's playing Alabama we're rooting for. Because, we equivalated the Crimson Tide with the Patriots. And as a Raider family, couldn't allow
sense.
that. So, they were just a team that we kind of picked up on a lot. So seeing them kind of have a lot of success this year, I kind of hope they make a run. It's Big 12 football, so they'll get dismantled by an SEC defense. But,
The storyline is there.
yeah. We'll go to the SEC. We'll save the big one for last.
Save my boys here.
We have another rematch here.
And this whole
is
conference
what,
was just
fifth installment of this game in this championship since 2021.
this whole conference was. I mean, we could say this about every conference, but the SEC was just a bloodbath.
I mean, the mega conferences just don't make. It's not fun. I mean, it's fun. It creates a lot of oh my God, we don't know who's going to be in the championship game until the end of rivalry weekend. But really, we got to do coin flips and computers.
Yeah.
But we got the 4th ranked Georgia Bulldogs going up against number 10 Alabama in Atlanta, but it's Kirby Smart's kryptonite. That old Crimson Tide.
You look at these standings: 11-1, 11-1. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, 11-1 doesn't get you in.
Nope.
Which is absolutely insane. I mean, Kirby going up against a team not led by Nick Saban.
Didn't matter last year. It didn't matter this year, right? They played each other this year in Georgia. Played each other last year in Nick Saban Field. So, it's Kirby Smart's kryptonite unless it's the national championship. You can't beat this team.
Rocking with the Tide. And DeBoer, former Fresno State, former Bulldog.
I mean, I'm just looking at this Bama team, and they've won, but not by much.
That loss to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then just beating LSU 20-9, a 3-point win over Missouri. I think I'm gonna rock with the Bulldogs here. I think they get over the hump.
Can we just talk about the Texas A&M disaster against Texas? They are right there and just
hook them. That's all I gotta say.
Arch Manning just dismantled this A&M team who was riding so high.
It just goes to show that A&M just is not. It's the same thing. Ever since Johnny Manziel in 2013, the first year in the SEC, and it's just they just have not been able to get over that hump. You just
can't do it.
And I mean,
It's
just not a good Texas team. And it's just not competitive. That just can't. You can't have that as A&M, especially going 11-0 and just a win and you're in. And the you know, touting this, high firepowered offense and this defense that's supposed to be, lockdown. And, Arch Manning said, let me run all over you. So, but yeah, we will go to the Big Ten. Oh,
I'm rocking with Kirby.
you're rocking with the Dogs.
I'm
All right.
rocking with Kirby.
We'll,
So now we're split. We got two different. Or is this?
No, I went with the Dogs too.
Oh, you're not riding with the Tide.
I'm going with the Dogs.
Okay, there we go.
I'm riding with the Dogs.
Babe.
So, yeah, if we're here, then the Mountain West is our tiebreaker. Because we both went with Texas Tech, right?
Yeah.
All right. Big Ten. Game of the century in a Big Ten title game. Number 1, Ohio State.
Undefeated against undefeated.
Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. First of all, what a turnaround for Indiana. Because that is insane.
Yeah.
2 years ago, this team was just dead. And now they're 12-0 playing for a Big Ten, title.
Have you Googled the head coach?
Kurt Signetti?
Have you Googled him?
Yeah, I have.
In the past 2 years, has anyone Googled?
Google me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he wins, and he did it 12 times this year. Does he do it 13?
And he took James Madison all the way. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you don't pick Ohio State in this. That defense. I mean, just utterly insane this year. They gave up 16 points was the most that they gave up this season, and that was against Illinois.
Takes over against Michigan in the Big House. Huge win.
It's just insane.
And you're getting guys healthy. Tate is healthy.
Jeremiah Smith. I mean, as much as I want to see Indiana just dethrone the Buckeyes, because they have now won, 16 in a row, dating back to the game last year?
Yeah.
Because they beat Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, and then, so.
Because they lose to Michigan, and then from then on
4
out.
straight in the national title, and then 12 more. So they're riding a 16-game winning streak here. It's tough. It's really tough. I can't tell. ESPN has Ohio State as a 4.5-point favorite, which I think is. Ooh. I think that's a little bit discrediting of this Indiana team. Mm-hmm. I mean, the main thing last year was that they didn't play anybody. They played a pretty bad Big Ten schedule. But if you win, you win. All you can do is play who you have on your schedule.
And this year they played them and they destroyed.
Yeah,
the majority of everyone. Penn State kept it close, and Oregon is obviously a very good football team. Everyone else, I mean, Mendoza didn't have to play at all against Purdue last game.
No. But I got to rock with the Buckeyes. I can't go against them and just watch an absolute beatdown. I mean, I don't want this to be the case, but I have a feeling this is going to be like a Big Ten title against Wisconsin when Ohio State played them, where it's just 56-0. Yeah. I don't want it to be that because I want these games to be competitive, but I think that's where we're headed with this game. So I think Ohio State's going to be 13-0 heading into the college football playoff, just like Oregon last year, and we all know what happened to them.
They'll
be the only undefeated team again in that playoff if they win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else has at least one. Somehow we're agreeing here.
You going with the Buckeyes?
We're trusting Ryan Day.
365 days ago, trusting Ryan Day was like trusting.
Where are we going?
Trusting
How rude do you want to be to like the Raiders or something right now?
Yeah, trusting Chip Kelly with an offense. We'll just say that.
There you go.
If you've seen the reports that come out, I'm not very, very happy about that. But regardless, offense still looked as inept as they did against the Chargers. But I think there's other underlying issues. But I don't know who talked to him after the game last year, or if it was just seeing Michigan plant that flag. But they are a whole new football program, and it's crazy because Ohio State's a blue blood, but they are on a different level right now, and that defense, hard for anybody to do anything. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes. So
Julian saying
the only game we are not on is Mountain West title. I think it'll be the Broncos at 9-4, winning their third straight, heading into the Pac-12. UNLV once again being a little brother to them.
not this year. Not this year. That's
the
the one we don't agree on.
Interesting.
Hey. And then, we forgot a game. We can Notre Dame's conference championship. Oh wait,
just join a conference.
That is hatred coming from this
Army Navy game too. Can't forget that. That's classic. I got Navy. By the way, just one of the greatest uniform showcase games ever. Every time they do it right. I don't know, whoever's designing those uniforms, if they're not getting paid enough, pay them, because that's ridiculous. That is fire uniforms every single time. I know we didn't have a lot on the schedule, but I got to talk about one more thing, and that's this college football calendar.
Yeah,
we've seen
got a month off of football here.
Well, not about that. It's about the coaches and all this drama.
Mr. Kiffin,
Mr. Lane Kiffin. As a Raider fan, I hate you. But regardless, I was like 4 years old when he was our coach, to be fair, but still. It's still there.
Still there.
I was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But, this isn't like the Tennessee thing for him at all. This is completely different. He's given 5 years to this program, and he's turned the program around a lot, and he's given them their best season ever. And, yeah, you would like to see a coach stick, but, who's going to turn down $90 million?
And the name LSU carries a little bit more than Ole Miss.
LSU still has a better recruiting class than them, and then he's going to be able to bring in his guys. I just think that, we saw Oklahoma State poach North Texas's coach 2 weeks before a conference title. And we've seen all these, every Alex Golish going to Auburn, John Summerall going to Florida. Like, as a player, I don't understand how you can feel safe coming into the last few weeks, seeing all these rumors and just knowing your coach is going to be gone. There's got to be a fix. And I know that the transfer portal has to work around, like, registration with schools. Like,
because once school starts, you have to be there.
Yeah, I get that. But there has to be something we can do.
They don't call it the Wild Wild West for a reason.
I don't know.
Thrown everything for a loop. Coaches can leave. Players have to stay there.
I don't know if you fix it by having the transfer portal open in the summer. Because then you only give, like, you're only giving, schools or players 2 months to transfer and learn a whole new system before starting their season. So I understand getting, winter and then the spring ball and whatnot, but it takes the winds out of the sails to see an 11-1 Ole Miss team probably going to get an at-large bid into the playoff now, especially if Duke beats Virginia in the ACC title. But it's not going to be that team that went 11-1. They're not going to have their head coach.
It's as if, what was the point of everything?
Exactly.
If there's something better along the way, and what message is that sending to your players, to the players that are seniors who will not be going with you? What's that message?
Exactly.
Hey guys, I got something better going on.
Yeah.
I was just here for 5 years.
talk about.
I can leave. You guys have to stay,
Yeah,
but we can talk in a couple weeks when the portal opens.
yeah, and it's looking really bad for Penn State.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who they go. I think their plan was to poach a guy like Signetti or somebody, and they've watched all of these top candidates go or get signed, re-signed, and that's not good. I mean, they banked on getting somebody better than James Franklin. I don't think there's a coach now that's better than James Franklin out there.
No. Very
So.
awkward spot for the Nittany Lions. They'll always have their whiteout, which is a whiteout for the fans, not for the jerseys. We've touched on that before.
Doesn't make sense, but you know what? But yeah, I think the calendar needs a little bit of adjustment. I don't know. I mean, after conference title week,
There has to be something, and they haven't found. The problem is they haven't found
Get
the
this-
one thing for the players.
the signing day being Wednesday doesn't make sense. Push it back a week.
Because these teams, and it's like you hear these big teams like Ryan Day talking about, oh well, we have to recruit during this, or Kirby Smart saying, rest and recruit. And while yes, you obviously feel bad, but it's also like
That's your job.
it is your job.
You signed
but
up for it.
Should you have to be doing it at the same time as preparing for now 5 games?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an argument to it, but it's just not. It's not conducive to a good fan experience, especially, if you have Ole Miss. I don't know who exactly they're going to play. They'll probably end up as maybe a 7 or 8 seed. If they win, they'll go on and play Ohio State and lose. But you can't have. Imagine in the NFL, Andy Reid is going to the playoffs with the Chiefs. And then he's just like, hey, guys, I'm going to the Patriots. See you later. No one would like that.
No.
I don't understand how you can get away with it in college. I don't know if I think the simple fix is just move National Signing Day back into that dead week where there's no bowl games, there's no college football besides the Army-Navy game, right? I think that's where you put National Signing Day, and then you allow coaches to jump ship after that. And I think there should be absolutely zero contact with teams between, in the season and between, the end of the season and that day. And I also, sorry to cut you off, but I also don't. I get it because they're signed to. They're signing a contract, right? You can't work 2 places at once, but let him finish out the season, man.
They've had such a good year, and for him to not be able to have anything to do with it.
Exactly.
The whole thing is an issue. The whole thing is a problem that needs to be fixed. And now with the extended playoff bowl games,
They just don't matter.
they don't matter at all.
And I think, just to tie this back to Fresno State, you're going to see that. You're going to see a lot of guys leave. You saw it last year. Last year, 70% of the roster left, and you were left with, Mandel, Joshua Wood to, start a game. So, the calendar is just not conducive to a good fan experience at the moment. And I don't know how you fix it.
No, and having all these meaningful bowl games be attached to the playoff is not fantastic either.
Yeah.
Because now you're watching these games. If you're a diehard fan for a mid-level school, but they made a bowl game. Making a bowl game used to mean something. It's cool. We get another game. We get to see 2 teams going at it for a cool trophy for something. But now we have these sophomore players, juniors, not a lot of seniors out there. If the coach is still there, great. Everyone else is just new.
Yeah.
And who caught that? Who's throwing it to him? Who made the tackle?
Exactly.
Oh, the true freshman, walk on that we talked about, a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I wrote my first piece that I got published at the Collegian was a column about how the college football playoffs sucked last year. And one of the things that I said was that you make the first 2 rounds home playoff games, and then you keep the 2 bowl games, and then you send, the losers home from the semifinals into 2 New Year's Six bowls, and then 2 other teams get New Year's Six bowls. Done. You keep it meaningful. You keep the players engaged throughout the season, and then, you're good. But
Because now they've put
I'm just a guy with a microphone.
they put these bowl games within the rounds. So if you win, the team doesn't care about whatever bowl game they just won. They care about moving on to the next round.
Exactly.
You give those bowl games, those meaningful games, back to the teams that aren't in the playoff. But instead, they just want. I don't know what. Is it the Peach Bowl is a part of it?
Peach, Orange, Fiesta.
So you win the
Rose.
Peach Bowl.
Yeah. Cotton Bowl.
I don't really care. I'm on to the next round.
Exactly.
Maybe you give that to 2 teams that actually that'll mean something to them instead of having it attached to the playoff, because all these bowl games mean nothing.
It's the sad truth. They don't mean anything, and that shouldn't be right. I mean, you should be able to play a whole season, know your coach is going to be there till the end, and play in a meaningful bowl game with, the team you just fought tooth and nail for 15 weeks.
And have the Rose Bowl mean something as well. Instead of
It's just wasted.
we just won at this historic venue, but we have no time to celebrate. We're on to the next one.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna make it to where you frown on the players for leaving, and vice versa, if you're gonna let one do it, then let the other. If you're gonna let the players go, let the coach go. If you're not gonna have either way, you can't let the coach go before the players. I can do it, but you can't.
Doesn't work.
And you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's a horrible situation.
I fear we talked about football for an hour, so I think it's time to switch over to some.
I fear we
Fresno State
we
basketball.
must switch over to the hoops. There's unfortunately not a whole lot to talk about.
Had a good game against Pepperdine on Wednesday, and then laid an egg on Sunday.
At the Selland Arena, let's just talk about that experience. Decent crowd in the side, not behind the hoops. That was pretty
Empty.
barren, but it was a solid crowd. They was good enough. They got a wave going.
You know what?
Never seen that for a Fresno State game
I've
before.
not seen that at
You had a little bit of a green V section. It was lively in the first half. The second half is a whole different story, and that is something. If you were at the Selland game, it's a little embarrassing.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second half starts, people still are like filing in from halftime, and the Dogs aren't playing that great, and the crowd is nowhere to be seen. I think that was embarrassing.
I think that's a common theme with the Red Wave.
You hype everything up. First half, they're in it. Bulldogs are riding that momentum. Second half, there's a bit of a struggle, and just whatever. All right, that sucks. We're just not going to cheer.
You see it in football a lot.
You want to talk about bleeding, Bulldog and being the Red Wave. I think you have to show up when your team is winning, and when your team is down, you need to ignite them. And instead,
and it's not like they were losing in the second half. Like, they were still up. They still had a chance to pull away.
They were winning until 3 minutes left in the game. They had a lead 4 minutes into the game, whatever it was. For 30 minutes, they played with a lead. And for half of that, they had the crowd going. The rest of it,
That cannot be. It just can't be.
No.
And I mean, I've seen it a lot at football games this year where, third quarter happens, teams, Bulldog offense kind of stalls. And then I see the mass exodus after like a 3-and-out.
can't even tell. Well, of course, we've been there so many times, we know. But that Lexus logo on the stairs, you can't even see it anymore because
bad.
people are standing right there going, Are they in the red zone yet? Nah, okay, we'll just
we'll just leave.
let's just go.
It's just like, I mean, if it's that much of an issue, just stay home and watch it on TV.
Is traffic really that bad coming out
It's
of
Fresno.
State Center or coming out of Selland? Like,
Valley Children's, like, is it necessary? I know, I get leaving the stadium probably, at the game. It's not that great because you got to wait for everybody to get up the ramp, and you got the security, and you're just standing around. Here's a great idea. You know who stays in their seats while everything leaves? The Bulldog marching band. Why don't you just listen to them for a little bit? Hang out, talk about the game.
hear the song.
Exactly.
Stay after the game. Hear the song.
And then, mosey on out. You don't have to leave right as the clock hits 0.
Could do that. Or, as Patrick said, I have an idea.
Oh.
Let's leave. And just do that after every single game.
After 7 minutes in the third quarter because you got to break the
Return.
It's not the freaking Rose Bowl, guys.
The return to Selland was, I can't call it a failure, but you can't call it a success. A lot of people came out, which was cool to see. You got to win that game. You have to win that game.
Yeah. And especially
after
the game against Pepperdine that they had. I mean, I really thought that was going to be a turning point in the season. I mean, they were down, I think, 8 at halftime. They shot piss poor. I mean, I think they shot 1 for 12 in the first half from 3. And then they come back, and I'd gotten up halftime, was doing laundry to get ready for the San Jose State game, and took a shower, felt nice, came back, pulled the game up. They're up by 20. I was like, whoa, what happened? And, started shooting lights out, and they played good defense, and they still got out-rebounded offensively by, I think, 8 or 12 by Pepperdine. But I think Wahlberg knew that going into the matchup. I can't speak on this game, but, especially after holding a team to 18 points in the second half, you thought maybe this would be a turning point in the season, and the Wahlberg tenure, maybe he's saving his job right now, and then...
That is what he said post-game. He said it's so disappointing because of how we've been playing the past couple of games. Been playing well. You come out in the second half.
It was a game that, besides the Fresno Pacific game, they didn't have to win it in the final minutes. They just won it. They had to kind of win it in the final minutes against New Orleans. And then, they just blew the doors off the Waves in the second half. You're like, okay. Bulldog basketball back, maybe?
Got something going.
Especially, maybe you thought, the 4-game winning streak going in, maybe people were like, all right, maybe this team's good. You get a sellout. But, for them not to sell it out, it's definitely a bit of it's a letdown. I think that's the perfect word. It's not a failure, but it's a letdown. But, yeah.
Dogs just couldn't string anything together. They didn't have a closer. And you look at the way that this team shot in that second half, they could not buy a bucket. Stickman has a bit of an ankle injury, looked like an ankle injury. Wahlberg takes him out, but he brings him back in.
Dog.
I remember watching the Milwaukee Bucks Brooklyn Nets series 2021. James Harden's injured. They have him out there limping. I'm a Bulls fan. I don't care what goes on. I'm screaming at the TV, Steve Nash, take the guy out. If you have a player that's hurt, and as good as Stickman is on the defensive end, he will provide you lots of good minutes. He's going to attack the rim, come down with rebounds, and play his ass off.
He will.
Why are we not keeping him on the bench if he's hurt? That's just a liability.
Especially for what he does. Like, the rebounding, he's not going to be able to rebound on a bum ankle.
No.
He's not going to be able to, keep guys in front of him on a bum ankle.
Puts him back in, takes him out, puts him back in. Just sitting there. You can't. If the guy is
Communicate to your
5% slower.
Communicate to your athletic training staff, please.
Keep him out of the game, because it makes no sense to. Because that's
what
only
happened.
hurting him more.
And it's It's what happened to David Douglas last year, you know? He rushed him back, and he's out for the year. Can't... It's that stuff. I mean, if what I know of DJ Stickman as a person from the 4 games that I've watched, it's that he is going to fight to be out there. I'm sure he probably wanted to be out there. But as a coach, you have to think long-term, especially in the season. You're 9 games in, and you're risking, a season-ending ankle injury for what?
I was not a fan of that. 20 seconds left. I thought I took a late night finds video. I thought I had one. I mean, it was set up like James catches, puts up a 3, won't go. Rebound Bosch, back out to Allen. We have Cam Foss, who shot 1 of 8 from 3, misses. Okay, grabs the rebound, kicks out to Heidbreder. Now, at this point, I couldn't see. I was trying to peek around. Heidbreder chucks up a prayer with about 8 left. There is time to find a better shot. I understand he's your best shooter. There is time to find a better shot.
Are they down 2?
They're down 3.
3.
They had 2 looks at it. Foss had another horrible night, 1 for 8. He's been struggling this year. Gets it out to Heidbreder. A great offensive rebound by Wilson Jock. Kicks it out. There was speculation of Heidbreder getting fouled, but you need to find a better shot.
Yeah, 8 seconds.
After
I could see if it's 2 seconds.
There was time.
8 seconds, you got to find a better shot.
Wahlberg talked about it after the game, saying we could have gone for 2 there. We really didn't need a 3 because it's 3 with a good look. But if it's wide open in the paint, you take the points.
Yeah, and then you foul.
Foss had a good look from the corner, just didn't make it. You get the rebound, and I was like, oh my gosh. I had 2 opportunities right here. And, I'm going to graduate next semester. Years go by, I'm clearing out my phone. Dude.
32. I'll get a text in the Fall 25 Collegian Editors group chat, and I'll be putting my kid to bed, be on my phone, probably watching some, Grey's Anatomy will probably still be on, so probably be watching that, and I'll get a text and be like, hell, what is this?
Where were you, Selland 25?
I was probably still on the road.
Yeah.
I that was a long ride home from San Jose, but
that would have been sick, but
tough looks there, man.
No go, and now the Bulldogs have to take on Coach Calipari and the Razorbacks.
Good friend to Coach Wahlberg, John Calipari.
He dropped that in postgame. Someone asked him, going up against a guy like that. He goes, "Yeah, he's a good friend of mine." I'm like,
that's such a flex.
Just to throw that out there, good friends with one of the best coaches of his generation. So much success, and now he's doing it at Arkansas. Yeah, I haven't really gotten to talk to John.
Yeah. The score prediction? It's a neutral site game again.
Yeah,
so
we got something going. We have a TikTok on the line here. If the Bulldogs can win,
I'm gonna have to get in the gym if they win. I'm not showing up like this.
If the Bulldogs win, in 9 days? They play December 10th.
Saturday, yeah, next Saturday or something.
If the Bulldogs win, you will see a TikTok of this man right here.
Shirtless at the next staff meeting.
He put that on the line.
I got
the text.
Put it
in
writing. Put it there.
So December 10th. I don't know where the game's gonna be.
It's in Little Rock.
If you could find it somewhere on TV, if it is on TV.
Oh, sure. It'll probably be on the SEC network. Maybe ESPN Plus.
Find it streaming. Cheer on those Bulldogs because there's a great TikTok on the line. There's a great video on the line. A great first meeting on the line. We'll see. What are they ranked? 17th? 20th?
22nd, I want to say. They play... When do they play? They don't have it on the schedule. Oh, it's the 6th.
6th?
Yep. Yeah, SEC Network Plus. That's when
there we go.
They dropped to 25 in the rankings. 5-2. ESPN has us a 8% chance of winning. So
we'll see. This is
it's not the worst.
It's like the BYU game last year before the in the non-conference. This was the This is a very good basketball team.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'd like to see him play BYU this season.
Yeah, DeBanza, number one.
That'll be.
He was at that game. I remember watching that at home.
Yeah.
I wrote about that BYU game. Just AJ DeBanza's at this game. Oh, shoot. BYU
Hey, maybe if we beat him, he would have flipped his recruitment.
Yeah. They had him on the broadcast. I mean, they were showing that guy off, and the Bulldogs did not win that game.
How bad was the loss? Was it
maybe 25? It wasn't great. I didn't know we'd be. I didn't think we'd still be.
Yeah,
here,
we did plan for this
are.
to be like maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah,
and then we talked about college football for.
Turns out we go off script and we just won't shut the heck up. So now we got to close this out.
We do
real quick. Arkansas, good basketball team.
Very good.
Fresno State. We'll see how they do.
Might be a good basketball team.
Might be a good Mountain West basketball team.
Might be.
We'll see.
Vance Wahlberg, you're playing for your job right now.
Possibly. I mean, after the Selland game, he was talking about, we want to do this next year. Sort of manifesting, I'm going to be here next year.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I just
think that, you can't get ahead of yourself. And, I think the conference slate's going to be pretty important for him.
Very important.
You need to win
Mountain West tournament.
Need to win at least a tournament game and win, maybe, 8 conference games. I think that's doable.
4 times as much as last year?
They've already got 6 wins. They've already got to 6 wins this year, so who knows?
We'll see. What have we learned? Today? We learned that the Fresno State football team is a good team.
It's a good team.
This was a successful year.
Very successful.
Read the column if you don't think so.
Yep.
Successful.
Very successful.
First year under Matt Entz, all these new coordinators, all these new players. It's a success. If you don't think so, you are insane.
Wrong.
You are wrong. Insane. All of the above. You look at this schedule, what they were projected versus what they actually did. They lost to Colorado State. That sucks. They got blown out by San Diego State. That sucks.
You're not going to win every game.
You're not going to
well.
do that. It's a success. For the future, you're looking at I think they're in good hands. Especially that defense.
As long as Entz doesn't get poached or any of the coordinators get poached,
Benedetto might be getting some calls here soon.
Yeah, I mean that defense was crazy.
Playing.
Yeah.
We know that. Offense, we'll see.
Transition year.
We'll see. Basketball. Return to Selland was
a letdown.
Not a success, not a failure. You got to win the game. Crowd, you need to be in the game and helping your boys. We'll see.
Be the red wave.
Dogs need a closer. They need that one offensive guy.
You can just put the game away.
And stay healthy. Also, this was, forgot to mention, Pierre Gneste Jr.
Oh, I see.
Came into the game. He's a road runner, and he was getting lit up by the crowd.
Oh.
And he actually was, he had a solid game. But there's this one guy sitting near me, and he missed a layup. That's the Pierre I know. I'm just, wow.
Man.
He had a solid game. So
how many points?
I don't know if he scored, but he was in the No, he did, because as soon as he checked in, fast break slammed it.
Cathartic, probably.
That's it's crazy what you can do when you have 2 hands.
Mm-hmm.
When you can actually use both your hands and one isn't wrapped up.
Cast, claw, whatever.
So, shout out to Pierre, former Bulldog.
Shout
a
out.
letdown at Selland.
Yeah.
But
we'll be back after a small break. There's still games. Women's basketball's back in St. Mart Center on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Men's basketball on the road until New Year's. But
And we got conference play.
yeah,
And
Utah
then it
State
all
first.
starts.
That's when the real season.
That's when it really starts. So we'll be bringing you
Right.
that coverage, of course. Whenever the Bulldogs bowl game gets announced, you'll be hearing it from us. And, of course, we'll be bringing you that men's and women's basketball coverage. Because both teams are on the come-up.
They are. Also, shout out women's basketball for their sweep in the Big Easy tournament. Forgot to mention that, but they had 2 incredible games down there. Good for them, especially
Ava Marr,
bouncing
another Mountain West Freshman of the Week.
bouncing back after some tough losses against
BYU.
Washington, BYU, and Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
That Santa Clara game was tough to watch. They had that. They got it to 2. They were down immediately 10-0. Cut it to 2. It just couldn't get there.
Couldn't quite get it.
So
But we thank you for tuning in. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Yet
it
again,
happens. It happens.
I will
guys.
charge my computer.
Yeah.
Could be smart.
See, because it's because I'm just wise like that. I've got the trips around the sun.
Unk over here.
Yeah.
It's like
Back in my day,
back
you
in
know,
my
we
day,
had to
charge our computer.
Yeah,
Or did
couldn't-
you use a typewriter? Did you have to plug it in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
So-
Not that old.
Thank you for tuning in. That was another edition of the Collegian Cooldown. Check out our website for all these lovely stories. Not just sports. You know, go to sports first, but then check out lifestyle, news, and opinion.
Yeah.
And that'll do it from us here.
Maybe not in that order necessarily. We're not trying to pick favorites of sections here,
Of
but
course. Sports podcasts. I figure it
Yeah.
relates to
well,
sports.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Signing off. Have a wonderful day, night, wherever you're watching this.
Fight on. Hook 'em.
Fight on. Hook 'em. Peace.